And to the southwest, where the fight against COVID-19 in Oyo State appears encouraging as fewer patients are currently on admission at the isolation center. The chairman, Task Force on COVID-19 in the state, Professor Temitope Alonge, said that all the strategies deployed since the third wave began has yielded fruits, as only 18 people are currently on admission at the main isolation center at Oludo Ibadan. He said the contamination of inactive isolation centers are ongoing across the state at the moment, since there are no patients in them. He added that the government will not rest but intensify efforts to achieve a healthy state. Well, joining us for more on the latest happening there is Dr. Muideen Olatunji, Executive Secretary, Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board. He joins us now virtually. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your overall assessment of the vaccination rollout thus far in the state?
Thank you. So far, so good. In Oyo State, the vaccination exercise has been so smooth. Initially, when we started during the first phase, the only time you had a kind of slow acceptance. But from the second phase, the acceptance and the way people come for the uptake has been so commendable. Like in the first phase, for us to reach the target of about 6,000 individuals that were vaccinated, it took us about 3 months. But this time around, within 2 weeks, we've been able to go beyond the 60,000 target that we actually set out to do at the initial outset. So that shows the acceptance is so high and the rate of coming for the uptake has been so commendable, so far so good.
So a lot more awareness, a lot more sensitization. But tell us, is there a vaccine mandate in Oyo State? I mean, what do you think about what states like Edo or Osun states and a few others are perhaps thinking about doing on vaccine mandate?
Well, the only mandate in Oyo State as far as vaccination is concerned is the position of the state government that tends to encourage everybody to be able to go forward and uptake the vaccination for their own safety and to follow all normal protocol that has been listed for the preventive measures. But like you mentioned, that of Edo, to say that people should not come for certain things because they've not been vaccinated, that has not been the policy of Oyo State. And my own issue about that is this: is a good way to make people take up vaccination. At least your right stuff, why my own starts as a public health measure. But the only drag in it is this: how much vaccine we have in the country put together. If you look at what we received for the first phase and the second phase put together, it's less than 10 million. And the population of the country is beyond 200 million, going with 2006 census estimate that we have. Now, if you now say everybody should not come out until they take the vaccine, and I think it doesn't really add up. We need to make provision before prohibition. So we need to ramp up the amount of vaccine that we have in the country before we can start compelling people that by force must do this. Don't do this one, you lose certain privileges. I think there's a gap a little bit as far as that is concerned.
All right, Dr. Muideen, finally, to get your thoughts, and this is if someone is undecided whether to take the vaccine or not, what advice would you be giving to that person, briefly?
Only advice, and honest one I'll give such person is that they should value their own life. Undecisiveness is not something to do at this point in time. Like I was cracking joke with some people when the first phase rollout started. The governor was the first person to take it in our state. And I was talking to others that were having hesitancy, that you are expecting the governor either to drop dead or to grow on or to have tail. Now, it's more than 5 months. He has not grown on, he has not developed tail. Neither do I and every other person in the state. So all this mischief and disinformation, people should disregard it. All this conspiracy theory will not take us anywhere. And statistics is there for us to see. People that actually take the vaccine, even if, mark my word, if they come down with infection on the long run, the fatality cannot be compared with somebody that does not take the vaccine. And no leader of in any part of the world will come willingly and do something for a citizen that will harm them. we should be able to trust the country and all experts put together that if they believe this is not fit for us, they will not ask us to come and take it. Their integrity is on the line. Our honor is on the line. And we put all these things for every person to say, come forward and take this vaccination. Anybody now be having hesitant, for me, it's quite unfortunate. And I think everybody should come forward and take it.
I'd like to thank you. Dr. Muhyiddin Olatunji is the Executive Secretary of your State Primary Healthcare Board. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Still to come on the program, pharmacists raise awareness on trust as key to effective healthcare delivery. Please stay with us.